Hey Dale, how are you doing?
What's there? Good in you, mate.
Cool, good stuff.
Good,
So
man.
let's talk about business here.
Yes, man. I've got a question with regards to the functions in the JSS script. Let me just share my screen, and we can go in there. There you go. Tell me when you can see it.
Yeah, I'm getting your screen. Yeah, fantastic. I can see it now. That's really good stuff.
All right. So script.js. So we've gone through index and style. Now to understand script.js. Function. So function is calling a function, and function would be, this is my understanding. Okay. Function init is initial function. That is the first initiate function, and then the tags which we've spoken about earlier, and then that tag for opening up that function. I see if I double click this function, this tag here, the other one is right down at the bottom, which would be the closing, which would be the, okay.
That's the one, yeah.
All right, so that's good. Okay, I've got that. And if I understand it correctly, this function initiate, that means starting.
Yeah. So the function name does not have any special meaning at all. So it's just any words you want to use, you can use as a function name. What matters is how you use the function. So if you scroll all the way down to the very bottom of the file, then you can see that on the line 228, we've got a closing brace for the function. So this is where the function ends. Okay. And what matters is how we use the function. So on the line 230, we've got document at event listener, event name is DOM content loaded, and the event handler is init, which is the name of our function. And if you hover your mouse over it, this editor will tell you it's a function, because it knows it's a function. So the word init has got no special meaning. It is just a word, but what matters is that the word becomes a reference to the function, and you're passing the reference to the function over here to make it to become the event handler for the event that we are creating, event listener that we are creating on a document. So this is how we are telling the program to use the function when the event takes place.
Okay. So is that a unique name?
The name needs to be unique. It must be unique within the scope that we are dealing with over here, which is the global scope of the application.
Okay. All right, perfect. So that would be the first part. So would function initiate, so that is this, okay, constant, and the constant direction. Can you just give me more understanding of what this, because I read up about it.
Yeah.
And it says this is just a description.
Yeah, pretty much. So on the line number 2, we've got a definition of a constant. And it's not really doing much on its own. It's because it's a constant. It's not even a variable, so it cannot change. So what we are having here exactly is const is the keyword, native JavaScript keyword for defining a constant. And then we've got direction, which is the name of the constant.
Okay.
We are defining a constant called direction. And then equals is the assignment operator. So we are assigning a value to this direction constant.
Okay.
And then we've got those curly braces. So this is defining an object, because in this particular example, when we have equals braces, then what's within those braces is a JavaScript object, as opposed to what we have a line before, opening brace, that's defining the body of the function, which is different what we are doing here. And what we are doing here on this JavaScript object is, well, there are 4 lines, up, down, left, right. And what I'm defining here is up is a property name. Then we've got the colon, and what's on the right-hand side of the colon is the value of the property. So JavaScript object can have properties with values. So this direction JavaScript object has got 4 properties, up, down, left, right, and each of those properties has got a value, which is a string. That's why it's in the single speech marks. And it's arrow up, arrow down, arrow left, and arrow right. So this constant on its own doesn't really do anything. It's static, it cannot change, and that is it. It's more about how do we use it. And the way we use it, we can talk another time, but you can see down on the line number 17, we've got a switch case statement, and we are going to come back to that. And in here we've got we are using direction constant with up, down, left, right, just to look up the underlying value of it's actually a name of the key that has been pressed. So in the game, the snake, you can press the keys up, down, left, right, and the browser sends the key code as part of the event that's raised when you press the key. And the event names are arrow up, arrow down, arrow left, and arrow right. So the only reason why I'm using this constant is to avoid having those strings floating around my code, left, right, and center. I'm just using my constant.
Okay.
That is future-proofing my code, because if the browser will change over time and they will rename arrow up into up, let's say, then I have only one place in the code to change it, which is line number 3, rather than all the other places.
Okay, that makes sense. Awesome. Thanks, Maciej. That makes a lot more sense now. And I picked it up that you've been using direction up in quite a few places, and I referenced it back to this, and I thought, okay, well, that just makes sense. What you just now said makes total sense. Cool. Makes it easier. Makes it much easier just to go and edit it in one place and in all the different places in the code. Neat and tidy. Lovely.
Yeah, that's what it's all about. We want to reuse as much as possible in a way that is going to save us some coding in the future. So work smart.
Lovely.
All right.
All right, Maciej. Thank you very much. I'll move on to the next stuff. I'll get back to you.
Yeah, lovely. So have a look, give it a go, and work it out. And let's talk once there is other things to discuss.
Great. Have a good day.
Good day. See you, mate.